If you scroll through LinkedIn or X these days, it feels like we're in some kind of intellectual golden age. Everyone is a genius. The articles are perfectly structured, the vocabulary is impressive, and these thought leaders are pumping out essays every single hour on the most complex topics imaginable. It's so polished and professional.
It's a facade. It looks like a library, but it's really a synthetic landfill. What we're witnessing is probably the greatest collapse of the signal to noise ratio in human history. AI has made the act of sounding smart essentially free, but when you actually read the stuff, you realize it's completely hollow. There's no original thought, no soul. It's just an echo chamber of large language models summarizing other large language models.
That's a powerful phrase, synthetic landfill. You also mentioned this idea of frictionless as knowledge. I mean, traditionally, to really learn something, you have to struggle with it, right? You fail, you get confused, you work through it. What happens to our brains when that whole struggle is just replaced by a one-click AI summary?
You lose the truth. It's that simple. Real knowledge, what you might call proprietary insight, is forged in friction. It comes from the experience of failure, from wrestling with a problem until you find a unique angle. AI content strips all of that away. It feels smooth and easy, which gives people this dangerous illusion of competence. They feel informed because they consumed a well written paragraph, but they haven't actually learned anything of value.
So it's like eating intellectual junk food. It fills you up, but there's zero nutrition.
Exactly. And that's where the idea of democratizing intelligence falls apart. We haven't democratized intelligence, we have just automated the production of mediocrity. The barrier to entry for producing professional sounding content has dropped to zero. So you get this explosion of what is essentially rubbish in, rubbish out, executed at light speed. The truly original, high friction ideas are now drowning in a sea of perfectly formatted nonsense.
Right. It's harder for the real signal to get through all that noise. So if the AI generated text is the synthetic garbage filling our minds, then the delivery system is what's actually, well, rewiring them. And that brings us to the other side of this trap, the algorithms.
It's not just the AI text though. We are also spending hours a day scrolling through these 1 5 second video loops. Whether it's TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts, it feels harmless. You know, just a quick little dopamine hit between tasks.
It's anything but harmless. The source material calls it an algorithmic lobotomy, which is a terrifyingly accurate description. These platforms are precision engineered to destroy your brain's capacity for deep, sustained focus. When you condition a population to consume reality in these hyper edited 1 5 second bursts, they physically lose the cognitive endurance required to understand a complex system.
What do you mean by a complex system?
I mean, things that actually matter, like how a supply chain works, or macroeconomics, or even a dense legal argument. If you can't pay attention for more than a minute, you cannot possibly grasp these things. You're being conditioned to be a passive, addicted consumer in a world that is only getting more complex. A population that cannot focus is a population that cannot compete.
That makes sense. If we look at this from a competitive angle, say for a young person trying to build a career, how does this attention hijacking really change the playing field for them?
It's creating a new and brutal class divide, but it's not about money, not initially. It's about cognitive endurance. The people who can still disconnect and focus on a hard problem for 4 uninterrupted hours are becoming a tiny, powerful elite. The rest, the majority, are being turned into a distracted underclass, gorging on this endless stream of digital junk food while their ability to compete just evaporates.
And this leads to the most chilling part of the whole equation. While the masses are being pacified and distracted by all this noise, Where is the times real times knowledge actually going?
Well, there's this pervasive belief, right, that because of the internet, all knowledge is democratized. If I want to learn how NVIDIA builds its most advanced chips or how a top hedge fund like Renaissance Technologies actually makes its trades, I just need to find the right YouTube channel or blog post.
That is the single biggest and most dangerous lie of the digital age. True knowledge, what we might call alpha or a real competitive edge, is a zero-sum game. If a piece of information actually generates power, leverage, or wealth, it is absolutely not being shared on a public blog or a TikTok video. The real experts are bound by ironclad NDAs. The engineers at NVIDIA building the next generation silicon, the quants at Jane Street or Citadel designing trading algorithms, they operate in complete silence.
So the old saying holds true: if the product is free, you are the product. But in this case, if the secret is public, it isn't a secret.
Precisely. The moment an edge is publicized, it ceases to be an edge. The actual AI models and quantitative logic that investment banks use to extract billions from the market are guarded like nuclear launch codes. No one, and I mean no one, is giving away a winning strategy for internet likes.
But hold on. If that's true, it suggests that almost everything we consume online, the how to get rich videos, the insider business analyses, is basically useless for actually building real world power or wealth.
It's worse than useless. It's a trap designed to waste your most valuable asset, your time and focus. This is what the source calls information apartheid. On one side, you have the masses drowning in a sea of AI-generated noise and dopamine hacking algorithms, completely pacified and cut off from the mechanics of reality. On the other side, you have the true architects of the future, operating in absolute silence, holding the real algorithms, the proprietary engineering, and the capital. If you're looking for the secrets to the universe in your social media feed, you've already lost the game.
That's a profoundly sobering thought. The more connected we feel to this torrent of information, the further we might actually be from the knowledge that truly matters.
Right. It's a paradox. We're flooded with information but starved of insight.
So, if we were to boil this whole conversation down, it seems to come back to a few core ideas. First, this illusion of democratization. The tools to create content are available to everyone, but real intelligence, real alpha, is becoming more centralized and secret than ever.
Exactly. The polished AI content isn't the new signal, it's the new, much more convincing noise. The second point is that your attention itself has become a primary economic asset. The ability to resist these dopamine algorithms and maintain deep focus is probably the single most important competitive advantage a person can have now.
And finally, the most brutal truth: the zero sum nature of real insight. Public information is, almost by definition, low value. Any knowledge that gives someone a genuine advantage is actively guarded.
That's the bottom line. It will never appear in a thought leader's essay or 1 5 second video.
We have reached a bizarre historical paradox. We are drowning in more information than any generation before us, yet we are arguably becoming less informed about the things that actually move the world. The internet has become a synthetic landfill designed to occupy your time while the real levers of power are moved in absolute silence. The ultimate survival skill for the next 20 years isn't knowing how to use AI to sound smart. It's the discipline to stop looking for the truth in a feed and realizing that the most valuable knowledge is precisely what they refuse to publish. The question you have to ask yourself is, are you a consumer of the noise or a builder in the silence?